The UMG-40 might be one of the worst guns in Battlefield 6 right now. There's a couple of things really good about the UMG, and that is its low recoil. It's got pretty decent hip fire, but the damage, that's where it just lacks. Yet I tried to max it out and come up with a really good build. Check this out. It is very beamy, as you can see. The hip fire is pretty good, reload speed is pretty good. So overall, actually quite a versatile weapon. It just lacks a little bit in the gunfight. Alright guys, now let's talk about the UMG-40. If you watch my SMG ranking videos, you already know this is the one I put dead last. And yeah, that rating definitely had a bit of personal bias behind it. Because even though UMG-40 is one of the slowest killing weapons in the entire SMG category, there are some reasons why you might still enjoy using it. In fact, despite all its weaknesses, I actually hit some of my best streaks ever with this thing, which still surprises me. While you might like the UMG-40, here are some strengths that keep this gun relevant. It has a great hipfire accuracy. You can absolutely run and gun with this thing. The hipfire is super tight, especially compared to other medium range SMGs. It has one of the easiest recoil patterns in the game. The recoil is almost non-existent. Even with default attachment, it shoots laser straight, and it's very accurate at mid-range. Because of the low recoil, it actually performs above stat tier, even outgunned assault rifles and LMGs at times where honestly shouldn't have won the fight. So yeah, this gun does have an identity. It just is not the most practical one and doesn't win the most gunfights. So the UMG has a 635 RPM, which is literally the slowest out of all the SMGs, and a 25 damage per bullet, making it a 4-shot kill with a time to kill of 283, which is actually not the slowest out of all submachine guns. The UMG-40 kills in about 284 milliseconds, which is extremely slow for an SMG, especially compared to the meta options. However, guns like the PW7, for example, with an extremely high rate of fire, do kill slower up close. And this is where the gun struggles. If someone with a higher RPM SMG jumps around the corner at you, you're probably losing the fight, in most cases. The realistic downsides. To keep things honest, it has a slow rate of fire. It's bad up close range performance. This thing is holding the UMG-40 back for sure. It's a very situational weapon. It doesn't have a truly unique competitive advantage. Other SMGs either shoot faster, hit harder, or have similar accuracy but better TTK. Outclassed in raw stats by almost everything else. This is why I originally ranked it so low, but in the right hands and especially with the right build, this gun can still be surprisingly good. Who is this gun for? If you like precision over aggression, easy recoil, consistent mid-range fights, hipfire flexibility, and a very beginner-friendly weapon, then the UMG-40 might actually be one of your favorites. I got a couple of builds for you guys with the UMG-40 today. I'll explain for every build what kind of playstyle you want to be using and why you would want to be using this specific build. I obviously have one main build that you will see in most of the videos, and after that just some varieties if you want to have better hipfire or lower recoil or all that type of stuff. I'll explain it very clearly in the next section of this video. So here it is, the UMG-40 build. It is the one I use the most, and you'll probably see in most clips. If you see a side, it is a slightly adjusted build. Every attachment is picked up carefully, especially with the one you see right now. I'll explain everything very clearly. So we're using the iconic iron sights on this weapon, mainly because it is iconic. Using a 1X is going to probably be better, but having the iron sight allowed for this build to work perfectly as it is right now. But you see this iconic iron sight in some of the older Battlefields, and if you have played them, some of the older Call of Duties, the UMP-45 I believe it's called, in all of those games. An absolute iconic weapon, so I had to go with the iron sights. And we're using the red laser. Now with the lasers there's something important. Only either use the red laser or no laser at all, because the red laser is not visible to the enemy player. It improves the hipfire accuracy of course a little bit, and if you don't use laser you have that as well. You miss that hipfire accuracy improvement though. If you're going to use the green or the blue lasers, they're going to be able to see you, and there's a big problem with that with the UMG-40 because it's one of the slower killing weapons in this game. When enemies can anticipate where you are and already know where you are and have probably a faster killing weapon, you're going to lose most of those gunfights. I would highly recommend staying away from any of the higher point worth laser sights in this game, because you're going to be visible to the enemy players. They can anticipate and you will lose a lot of gunfights. Now there's the same reason why I'm using the suppressor suppressor, also because they want to stay off that minimap and want to fully hide your in-world spotting, which is basically meaning when you shoot your weapon, you get a big red icon above your player module. And with the suppressor, that gets removed also with the flash hider. But I think staying as stealthy as possible is almost a must with a gun that just doesn't kill that quickly. Then we have the light barrel, improving the ADS speed, but also improved accuracy while moving. Now, I was very tempted to go with the blue laser sight here as well, because it also improves accuracy while moving. The only problem is going to be visible, but having improved accuracy while moving is huge if you're trying to strafe and stay mobile, which this gun does great, by the way. Mobility is 74, so the strafing abilities of the UMG-40 are absolutely insane. You can pre-aim corners, you can pre-aim rooms, you can do everything with that, which is probably something you want to be doing, and the light barrel improves the accuracy while you're trying to do that, so you get less spread, less bloom, annoying things happening to you where you're trying to strafe in this game. And then I put the angled grip there for a slightly recoil reduction, but mainly because it increased weapon draw speed, so in case you get those reaction-based gunfights where both of you and the enemy player see each other at the same time, you have a little bit of a chance at reaction-based gunfights because it pulls your gun up quicker and you get a slightly faster transition to aim down sights, which is 133 milliseconds, by the way, which is absolutely great. And then I went with the 30 fast round. You don't really need the 36 round, simply because the rate of fire is 635. It's not very quick, so 30 rounds should do it in most cases. And then we have the standard FMJ rounds. So here we have the second build, and this build is made for beaming players of hack glitches because we have the synthetic rounds, which have a 1.75x headshot multiplier. With the damage output of this gun being 25, it's actually really good. It becomes a 3-shot kill headshot across a pretty decent range, with a rate of fire of 635, actually making the time to kill not bad. With the recoil pattern being super predictable, you can beam players pretty easily of hack glitches with this. So we have the mini flex now, so we have the clear side, which is definitely a must. You can even go with some of the higher zoom levels of this gun. We have the red laser, we have the 20-point suppressor, so we go from the 30-point to the 20-point suppressor. Then we still have the light barrel, and we do not have a underbarrel. The recoil control on this weapon is still completely fine. You're going to be a bit slower with this build, keep that in mind, so it's more for a little bit defensive playstyle. For example, breakthrough defense, you're probably going to really like this build. So there's the second build. And then we have a super slide variation of the very first build, but this one allows you to use a sight. As you can see, it doesn't have the full 100 attachment points because you're running a 20-point suppressor now, which allows you to use a sight. So this is where I would change if you want to use the sights on this weapon. Great all-round build, basically. It's similar to the first one, but you're definitely going to have an easier time at picking off players from a longer range. I quickly wanted to give a quick shout out to Tipsy Audio for supporting my streams this month. I've been using their earphones and they've honestly changed how I hear things in shooters. If you want to check them out, there's a link on my page. And if you feel like grabbing a pair, code MAXLIC gets you 10% off. That is going to be it for this video, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you learned something new. Hopefully this video was useful. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And I really hope to see you guys in the next video.